ば、シャロちゃんにキングメロンパンをあげるのを想像するよ。キングメロンパン。そう、その顔が見たいの。キングメロンパン。
Today I'm gonna be making the king melon pan from Ys Vlll. I spent a lot of time researching for a lot of recipes until I decided to make an original one, which was not the best idea. But regardless, it was my first time, so let's get over to voice over me. Okay, for starters, we're gonna add 1 cup of bread flour and 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Follow up by half a cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, half a tablespoon of vanilla extract, and 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. It will be better for you to use dry yeast instead of instant because I ended up paying the consequences for using instant. Turn on the mixer and start mixing all the dry ingredients. After that, you're gonna add 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk, and you made a mess. Then you're gonna add 2 cups of milk. First add 1 cup of milk, and the second one, well, we'll figure things out later. Put the lid, turn on the mixer, and start mixing all the ingredients. Add more vanilla to the mixture because you have to, and keep mixing the ingredients. After that, you're gonna start adding 10 teaspoons of butter, or a bar and something a bit more. And you're gonna keep mixing it for, I would say, like 5 to 10 minutes. Keep adding the milk little by little, and that's the part where I messed up because my mixture ended up looking really slimy. Grab a spatula and start scraping the sides so everything is well mixed together. If you're gonna have a slime, better make sure that it's a perfect slime. Keep mixing for another bunch of minutes. And after you're done mixing, in an oil container, you're gonna put all your mixture using a spatula, and forget that you're a reasonable human being and use your hand like a caveman. Put some plastic over it and let it rest for about 2 hours. Now let's move on to the crust. For the crust, we're gonna need 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and 1 cup of vegetable shortening. Now, before you put the vegetable shortening, start mixing, and don't forget to put the lid because that's gonna happen if you don't put the lid. Put the lid even though you already made a mess. And just mix everything for around 2 to 3 minutes. Don't forget to taste whatever you're done, and put half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix it again for another 30 seconds, and use your spatula like a recent human being and put it in a container. Grab your ball of crust or whatever and divide it in 2. We're gonna end up making 2 melon pans. One is gonna be a chocolate and another is gonna be a vanilla crust. So just add 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder and use the spatula that is right next to your hand instead of being a freaking caveman. After you're done playing with your Play-Doh-like crust, set it aside and just wait for the 2 hours to pass by.
2 hours later.
Your dough should be ready now. So in a baking sheet with some parchment paper. Grab the dough like the caveman you are and just put half of the dough in the baking sheet. Grab another baking sheet and do the same with the remaining dough. I'm so glad I didn't go to culinary school. I would have been expelled. Now remember the crust? I didn't end up recording this, but just make a tortilla out of it and put it above your dough. Cut some of your crust from the sides because we're gonna end up making the crown out of those. Now that your dough is covered with your crust, just cut it up with a knife, making the melon shape cuts, I guess. Now you might not want to do so many cuts and so thin because it will be a big mess, and you will see why shortly. But with your remaining crust, just try to make a crown-like shape because we're gonna put them on top of our melon pans. Oh yeah, I should have been a surgeon. Maybe not. Once all that's ready and your melon pans are looking good for your first time, put them inside your oven that was preheated at 355 degrees Fahrenheit for around 20 minutes. Take your melon pan out of the oven and let them cool. Both of them are looking nice. Okay, the chocolate one is, let's cut that one first. Alright, now, don't drop it. Oh yeah, let the world see your clumsiness. And there you have it, guys. After a huge mess, here's my failed attempt to do the King Melon Pan from Is the Order Rabbit. It's not that bad. It could have been a bit more spongy. So I think that my mistake really was in the yeast. But for my first time making bread, I would say Cocoa-san would be proud of me. But yeah, it only took me my entire weekend. I'm the Beer Bomb Mexican. Thanks for watching and keep watching anime. See ya.